Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
What is going on tonight once again? This is the Club of the Man 1993, back here for us a little bit more baseball news. We've already done our MLB trade deadline video recapping some trades that happened. That took 2 takes because I was not wise, didn't check to make sure I unmuted my microphone before getting started, but of course I know we are unmuted now. So I'm going to be here for a few minutes just talking about a couple, just 4 injuries that have taken place recently since between the All-Star break and the trade deadline. Just 4, like I said, I'm trying to keep, like the more bigger news injuries rather than just like, oh, this person's going to miss a week of a concussion or this and that. Nah, just the ones that are just worth a few minutes talking about. So we're going to get right into it as we want to first start off in Toronto. As back on July the 20th, Bichette had left the game before due to a right calf strain and was placed on the 10-day injured list due to that calf strain. And that MRI revealed it was a moderate calf strain and that he will be sidelined for multiple weeks due to the issue. Given an actual timetable of return, nothing really listed, of course, as well. Bichette definitely has started to battle some injuries in the past couple of years. This year, definitely, he was definitely not having a good year for sure. Hitting just .222 with 4 home runs in 331 plate appearances. Ouch, it's definitely a big drop for sure. After his strong seasons he's had. And then 2023, of course, did end with a pair of injuries as well in the second half. And then, again, he definitely has been dealing with it since. And it's definitely caught up to him a little bit, for sure. Bichette's definitely several of the young pieces of this newer Blue Jays team. Well, that was contending, but is now starting to move out of this era. Because, again, Vlad Jr. apparently has been talked about in possible trades. Again, we could see it maybe go into waivers trade deadline. Or, of course, there's Bichette, who apparently could also be traded too, and he also could be leaving in free agency following the 2025 season. So his time with the Blue Jays is starting to get limited. So he better make a move, or else, well, then again, the Jays either way may not be re-signing him. He may be still testing free agency. But again, hopefully he gets back on track before free agency, so that way he is worth his worth for sure when he goes onto the market. So there's that injury. We then have Ozzie Albies. Again, the Braves had lost Ronald Acuna Jr. for the year. Back on July 21st, it was announced that Ozzie Albies could be out for 8 weeks with a wrist fracture. The x-rays on his wrist revealed a fracture in his left wrist. He could miss approximately 8 weeks, start from back on July 21st. That was just 2 weeks ago. And then I believe it's the second wrist injury he has had in the past couple of years, because he, I think 2 years ago, he also had suffered an injury that kept him out for most of the second half of the season. I think it's very similar to it. But that's very unfortunate for the Braves, again, as they had without him. They're also out. They also don't have Ronald Acuna Jr. for the rest of the year. And also, at the beginning of the year, their ace, Spencer Strider, had undergone season-ending surgery as well before the season really even began. Michael Harris II and Max Fried were also on the shelf, but I know Max Fried was just about to come off there. Luckily, they have guys like Chris Sale and Reynaldo Lopez who have stepped up for sure. And again, grabbing Jorge Soler was definitely a big pickup as well. As the Braves, again, were kind of starting to fall off a little bit with the race a little bit, as again, the Mets have stormed back. Now, as of tonight, the Braves are still one game up on the Mets in the wild card. They are both still, of course, chasing the division-leading Phillies. But definitely a couple of big losses and some pieces as well that aren't quite playing as strong as they were last year, either like Austin Riley and Matt Olson. Not saying they're being horrible, but it's just that they're nowhere close to the productivity they got last year. So that's also a big loss, and hopefully Albies will be back in time before the playoffs, as they seemingly should be. Disappointing news for the Texas Rangers, as Evan Carter, announced on July 30th, is unlikely to play again in 2024. It's been a rough year for Evan Carter, who got brought up towards the end of the year last year, and got to, of course, be part of the team in their run en route to the 2023 World Series victory that they appeared in. But he's dealt with some injuries most of this year, and it hasn't been the strongest campaign for him at all. He hit just 188 in 162 play appearances this season. Obviously, his back problems were definitely a factor as well. And of course, definitely at such a young age of 21, it just was definitely not the easiest year for the rookie Evan Carter. I'll keep on calling him Evan Carter III. He's not Evan Carter III. This ain't wrestling. This ain't EC3. But yeah, has definitely have a lot of hype to him. So hopefully he will be back next year stronger with his back healthier as well. Hopefully having a much better year than he did this year. And then, of course, the big disappointing news for sure. For yet another year in a row, Mike Trout season ends again due to injury. As Mike Trout announced that during rehab, he suffered another meniscus tear while rehab and close to coming back. He has been on the sidelines since the beginning of May, when he tore the meniscus in his left knee. He was able to rehab start on July 23rd, but departed that game with left knee soreness. And then he appears that the left knee meniscus tore yet again. And it's going to keep him out for the rest of the year, unfortunately. And again, it's been a bummer. He's been hampered by many injuries since 2021. In 2021, he had a right calf strain, limbs just 36 games. 2022, he still missed time due to back problems that people were worried going to end his career. He played 119 games that year, and last year he had a left hamate fracture capped that left him just at 82 games last year. Of course, anytime he has been healthy, though, playing, he still has produced very strong numbers. He began the season hitting 10 home runs and 6 steals in just 29 games. And he produced a total of a 220 batting average. And again, that unfortunately is where his stats will remain for the rest of the year. As again, Trout just cannot catch a break. I mean, is he already a Hall of Famer? He may be, yes. But these injuries, man, it's just tough to watch. And it's sad to see, of course, because that's going to, limit what he's like. Let's put it this way. He's like Ken Griffey Jr. When Griffey had like a long stretch where he was just like untouchable. And then when we got to like the beginning of the 2000s, like when he went to the Reds, he was hampered with injuries like crazy for like the last 10 years of his career, unfortunately. And he still managed to put up the numbers that he did. Imagine if Griffey would have never gotten all those injuries. How much greater he even would have been. Mike Trout is falling into that same exact boat right now. We know he's great. We know he's a Hall of Famer. Yet the injuries just keep coming and coming and coming and coming, and it's just insane. And it's sad and disappointing. This guy literally, again, was on his way to being the best of all time. I don't know if he'll ever be the best of all time. You can still look at him as one of the greatest of all time. But you can look at him as knowing that he definitely could have been even more. But then again, the injuries just keep happening to him. And it's very unfortunate. But I hope that 2025, Mike Trout's able to finally play a full year of baseball and get back on track to where he was before all his injuries happened. Because he does not deserve to have, play just a handful of games a season. Not at all. So hopefully all 4 of these guys get better soon. And like I said, Mike Trout's done for the year. Evan Carter's done for the year. Ozzie Albies may be back in time for toward the middle, the end of September. And then Bichette shouldn't be gone as long. But again, he hopefully isn't going to start getting injury prone as well. But that's my brief thoughts on some injuries in Major League Baseball. What are your guys' thoughts on these? Especially the stuff with Mike Trout. Leave your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. And be sure also, as always, to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. You may follow me on Twitter as well, The Club of the Man 93. You can also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at The Club of the Man 1993. And until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch you guys all later. Have a great rest of your night. And do not forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself. And that is not just an opinion, my friends. That is a fact of life. Yeah!